you know, you guys in the US can help a lot. The US is sending the most destructive delegation to South Africa in the form of Hillary Clinton and others. And we think that you guys, as the US delegation, you in the US have a strong responsibility placed on you to stop these forces to come into Durban. Else, it will be, certainly will be, the conference of the polluters. We've been talking to the government in South Africa, and certainly even within the UN, we've met with them in the last couple of weeks, and basically they don't think that there is going to be any deal cut in Durban. Whatever deal cut is going to benefit, we'll continue to say that the polluters must continue with their work as it is and keep the status quo. And we're totally against the status quo. We say that it's better no deal than any deal, you know, that's coming here. So we would want GGJ, who we've met in Dakar, and I was in the US, in New York, and in Washington, and in California, that we build the solidarity movement, that we have solidarity actions in other parts of the world. Many of the comrades in South Africa and in Africa have gone all over the world and continue to travel to other parts of Europe, and are saying to people there, we need to ensure that the Global Day of Action really is meaningful, that we can shake the trees, we can start shaking these people and really put pressure and realize, they must realize that a new economy is important, that we need to shape it. It must be shaped by people. We need to ensure that this old way of doing business, this capitalist system, must be crushed once and for all. And you can only do it if all just to say that the local C17, which I'm part of, a task team, we've done a lot of work in ensuring that the alternative space takes place in Durban, that there's a huge amount of interest around this issue. There is a new website that has been set up where people who are coming to Durban need to link up, and there's a lot of activity that will take place. We are in the process of just signing and ensuring that contracts are done, memorandums are done. One of the major things that's held us back is raising my funding for it. It's been difficult because the Durban government is not sympathetic to the environmental justice comrades in Durban. They do not care a hoot about the environment. In fact, they would, if they would want to, they would want us to disappear completely. We've seen it with the World Cup where we've exposed them, where the interest lies in bringing in tourists and bringing in the whole idea of bigger sports arena rather than looking at delivering with local people on the ground. So we've had this on and off fight around access of housing, where people are still living 17 years after democracy in inhumane conditions, in conditions where there's one tap, one standpoint point. There's no sanitation there's no waste removal, absolutely nothing. And yet just outside of their doorstep, this huge, big industry making huge amount of capital or profit that's been flighted out of this country to New York and to the London Stock Exchange. And here lies the problem. And so government is not really supportive of us as CJN activists in Durban. However, we are the people who have the knowledge around climate justice and around climate issues. So we are presenting all that to the communities. And so we know for a fact that come the 28th of November till the 10th of December, we'll be mobilizing thousands of people who will be coming to Durban from all parts of the continent and all parts of the world. And they're welcome to come. And we will have a number of programs and campaigns where we will take them on locally and all over, take on these polluters. And we are hoping that you guys will also be part of this anti-capitalist, imperialist agenda that we are driving to ensure that we smash them up in Durban. That Durban is not just a passing point where they're going to come and just have a good party and enjoy themselves and cut no deal, or if they cut any deal, they will cut it to suit themselves. We are wanting them to come here to Durban. Whoever comes must ensure that the voices of the people are heard first and foremost. In particular, the people of the continent and the South, because we are hugely impacted upon with climate change. We see the poverty. Millions of people are going to bed hungry every single day. And we think that it's time for serious action, even to the extent of us being killed. We believe certainly that there is time for serious action, and yes, we are ready for this fight, we're up for this challenge, and we hope you guys in the US are up for that challenge as well.
Thank you, Desmond. thank you for sharing your thoughts with us, your time. I know you're putting together an international gathering, so putting aside this time is a big donation to the development of the grassroots sector in the United States. We hope not to disappoint you and to help you smash these capitalists, don't we? We're gonna help them smash these capitalist jerks? Claro que sí. Okay, thank you. We'll continue with Maureen Santos from FASE.
FASE, it's a national organization that are completing this year 50 years, so it's a very old organization in Brazil, and especially I work in a center of environmental justice and rights, and with the issue of climate change, and also about the impacts of some global issues impacting the communities. We do a lot of popular education of these communities and try to strengthen the leaderships of this community to create a possibility to talk and to pressure more the government, the local government, and also national one, and interchange knowing that can help them to create more strong positions against the impacts, that not only the global impact but about our reality, socio-environmental reality in Brazil. So in this moment we have a lot of challenges, especially about the false solutions that are imposed by the climate change negotiation, as about the carbon market, as about the RED, the mechanism of reduction emission from deforestation and forest degradation, and the increase of the process of monocultures in Brazil, as the soybeans, as the eucalyptus and sugar cane, to produce more ethanol to the exportation. And this kind of false solution are, the Brazilian government are putting this as a real solutions in the law and approving a lot of law projects that are flexibilizing our forest code and our regulation, especially in kind of environmental. So all this process we are discussing is preparation to Rio Plus 20, because for us Rio Plus 20 is, especially the official proposal, it's not to discuss the lack and the problems and the challenge that the last 20 years of the Convention of Climate Change, Desertification, and biodiversity, that could be the real proposal that the conference that we call it 2020 or plus 20, no? This issue that can discuss a balance and an evaluation of 20 years, they don't do this next year. The government don't want to discuss what's the problem of these 20 years, why did this conference and this convention doesn't work. When Lula proposed this conference, I think 2 years ago, he proposed 3 issues of the agenda. He proposed the balance, the evaluation, the green economy, and also the new institutional architecture for environmental. But if you see now, the only 2 issues that the agenda is the green economy and the new institutional architecture. It's clear that the government doesn't want to evaluate their work during these 20 years. As we do, they try to do this in Johannesburg, but it was a ridiculous process, and now even that they don't want to talk about this. So for us, we are thinking that the Rio Plus 20 could bring a legitimacy of the concept of green economy, as well as during the Rio 92, they legitimate the concept of developing sustainable development. So as this concept now are in weakness, they now are trying to bring this green economy, and how can the agenda of the green economy can help in this maybe different moment of capitalism, that they are established a green capitalism. And the agenda of the green economy are including some small issues that for us is not small, but it's very important, and we very worried about that. It's 4 sub-issues: the oceans, the food security, the water, and energy. So these 4 issues, it's very, very important. And as well as these issues are inside of the agenda of the green economy, where I think they are creating more and more for solutions that can develop in this issue, and not a concrete solution that can help and are provided by the alternatives by the communities, etc. Now the government are doing some consultations in internet that is possible to participate, and as they until now doesn't have only this kind of proposal, we think that this kind of consultation, of course, will change the things, but it will be important to participate, to show for the government that the people have propositions and have alternatives, even if the government doesn't want to take it and take in account, but it's important to do and to show that we will be in the streets to defend this kind of alternative proposals in next year. So I don't know about my time, but we think that in June of the next year, and in this process until June next year, it's very important to create, to strengthen a movement building that is passed especially by the G20 conference in Cannes in Paris in November, and then in Durban in this final November and December, and also not the Rio Plus 20. It's we have to stop in Rio Plus 20, but we try to how this kind of event can strengthen the debate and you try to achieve the unity that we are now in this moment in a very huge process of fragmentation. And this process of fragmentation, we know that it's part of the system that's trying to divide us. But we think that's important to, even with our differences and our diversity, we thinking about this unity, how can it go together and to build this movement. Okay, thank you.
Give her a round of applause. That was amazing. And breaking down some very complicated ideas. And your English is awesome.
Yes.
I agree. Thank you very much, and thank you for the work that you're doing to put together the Rio Plus 20. Whatever grain of sand we're going to add to that, we will proudly be part of this broader process that you're doing that's going to help make life better for everybody in the planet. So thank you very much.